Welcome to another episode of the Kat Mak Talk Show, where I have Merylee Sevilla on the show with me today. And don't forget that I am here because your voice matters. Your story builds your legacy. Your story is your power. And a lot of the times I feel we forget that, Merylee. You are a mortgage matchmaker, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. You help others with building their wealth and going from broke to hero. And there are other avenues, like we were just talking just before we got on. You have suffered 3 strokes by the age of 30. Like, seriously, I am so thankful that you are still here to share your story, because you know what? It was not your time to go. It so was not time to go. You probably need to go through the downs to find where you are going to be and where you're headed today. You have gone from zero to hero. I'd like to ask you, I'm not going to ask you where it started, but you're not doing what you're doing or what you've experienced today from a story that is very interesting, because I know sharing your voice and not diluting your voice has been part of your journey. Merylee, mic over to you. Go for it.
Well, thank you, Kat. I appreciate you having me on your platform. This is an amazing opportunity. And while you did your research on me, I too did my research on you. And I think you are just an inspiration to women who are trying to find their voice. And really, the message behind being unapologetically yourself and rediscovering yourself. It's never too late. You can start today. You can start in the future, but just start. And you talk about my journey. Yeah, before I was 30, I had 3 strokes. 2.5 years ago, I underwent 2 brain operations, and a third is in the future of sorts. But all these moments have led to where I am now and led to the choices and the mindset that I now live with, which is you have to be your most authentic self. Don't hide your voice. Don't filter yourself simply just because society says you have to be a certain way, look a certain way. We talk about how AI and all these things on social media, there is so much pressure to look, be, and think a certain way. I'm like, no, I'm going to challenge that, because we should. We should be asking why, how come? But also, that's not me.
How did you
And I know
challenge
that.
it?
You know what? I challenged it by asking myself, is that what I want to be? Is that how I want to see myself? As a parent now, and I see what's out there, do I want my kid to be looking at this and being inspired by that? Or do I want to say, no, I want you to be yourself, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Be quirky, don't fit a mold. Be unapologetically yourself. And I know for myself, and I've come to embrace this about me, I do not look how Hollywood portrays as attractive, brilliant, or genius. But to me, when I wake up, I look in the mirror and I go, you know what? You are unique. You are awesome.
You are.
And I'm one person who can inspire myself. And if my voice and my experiences can inspire others to embrace who they truly are, then that was a pretty good day.
Yeah. You said, by belittling my voice, I'm disregarding my needs and my worth. What made you stop?
It was looking at the compounded effect of my health, my personal and professional relationships, and realizing that by not speaking up, I was giving control to everyone else but myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by not having control, then what do I have?
Because you talk about, I came from a privileged background, and all of a sudden overnight you had 0. There was nothing. You're pretty much out in the streets trying to find yourself. What did that moment teach you about who you really are?
It taught me that coming from a life where everything was given to me, everything was handed. I asked for new shoes, new clothes. I asked to go out. I got it. But the moment that that stopped, because I was being my most authentic self, and then having to learn to navigate this new reality of having nothing, I was like, I'm actually capable of so much more than I realized. I didn't think I was capable because for most of my life, I was given anything and everything. I didn't have to work the same way that others had to. I didn't have to think twice about, where my food was coming from, what the money in my wallet. It was just given to me. But the moment that that was taken away, I discovered my resilience, my
Yeah.
strength, and my courage, and my ability to be like, no, no, no. You're actually a lot smarter than you think, and you're so much more clever than you realize. You can do this. It was very hard. There were many times that I wondered, okay, if I change who I am, if I just accept a lie, maybe I can have that life back. If I tell myself, be this person that everyone wants you to be, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why?
It's not okay. It's not okay. It's so not okay. And I get really, it gets up my nose because I was that person. And this is just a quick story. At 25, I was told, when I talk about this in the book that I wrote last year, at 25, I was told, similarly to you, but different. I was told, you're too pretty to be in this industry. And I wanted to just fly and fly high sky and be amazing in this industry that I worked in. Don't tell me, because I was born this way, that I can't be really great. And you're telling me to go down the used car sales path because that's what he said. And I'm like, so maybe he did me a favor. I got really angry, got really pissed. And I'm like, but it also changed who I was, because I thought, right, I was angry. I didn't have the emotional intelligence to be able to navigate what he said. I had to work it out. So I became this person, but I was really I'm a pretty woman operating like a man. And that's not who we are. That's BS. And like you, 3 strokes, multiple health issues. You have found the love of your life. And I'm so glad, because I read your story and we are talking about this earlier. And you have to go through this stuff to go, I'm going to be who I want to be, and stuff you and build the brand that you want to build, because you can. And I'm saying, and I bet you're saying the same thing, you don't need to wait till you're 40 like I did. Do it earlier. Challenge it. Say no.
And I think that's what's important is I think society, culturally, we're told, well, if you haven't figured out your life by your 25, that's it, you're done. The thing is, I turned 39 in March. I told myself the moment that I turned 39, I was like, you know what? They say that your 40s is where life takes off. And I was like, you know what? Potentially, who knows? But I was like, what I'm going to do for the next 365 days, because there's no leap year in this year, is I'm going to make sure that every day is special. That every day I'm going to make a choice to wake up with a smile, to make sure that my son knows how much I love him, to make sure that my wife knows how much she's loved, to make sure that the people around me know how much I value them, and to really look at the relationships in my life and say, I am thankful for the part that you've played and the part that you continue to play in my life.
Yeah. I think
And that is what
gratitude
I've
is so
promised
important.
myself.
I love that. I vowed that every month I'm going to travel somewhere new. That was my thing for this year. Like, I
There we
traveled to
go.
Dubai before the world changed, and I did my podcast in Burj Khalifa. That was one of my dreams. I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
I'm just going to go. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm just going to make it happen. So on that note, when you went from zero money, and we understand you have found your power, you found your genius zone, you're better than what you are. It's exactly what you said. How was Matchmaker born? And I absolutely love the name. Like, you have hit gold just there. Because there are women out there that are like, have lost everything. And you talk about mortgage is like a relationship. You need to find the right one. So all of a sudden, you've gone from zero to hero because you've experienced it. And people will then ask you, or people will ask people, how do you do what you do? Well, it's because I've gone through it. So I'd like to know for women out there that have lost everything and are broke, where do they start? How do they find the right relationship?
Two ways of doing it. One is you accept the new reality that you have. We can always go back to the past and look at it and be like, oh my gosh, had I done something differently? The thing is, dwelling on the past doesn't help our future and it doesn't help our present. If anything, it just holds us hostage. And especially when it comes to finances, what I've learned in my career and through all the people that I've helped and talked to is people make one mistake, but institutions, society penalizes them from moving ahead. As a matchmaker, my job, my passion is to say, it's okay. That relationship didn't work, but here, let's build you up so that you're ready for the next relationship. Let's get you on the path so that when you're ready to buy that home, when you're ready to invest in your happiness, you've got the foundation. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to be your support when maybe everyone else in your life turned their back on you or everyone said, no, it's not possible. You can't achieve those dreams. I'm here to say every dream is feasible and every dream is possible. You just have to set down the foundation and really be honest with yourself. And honesty is the hardest thing to honor, to realize, and to really just state.
Yeah. So before we got on, well, we're talking about institutions that penalize you. And I love the fact that you said that there are different avenues. It's not just one way or the highway. And that is what Mortgage Matchmaker is all about, finding that relationship with, because it's not just that one avenue. And as women, we are conditioned, or as people, we're conditioned, as a society, we're conditioned that because we listen to a lot of noise that, you can't get a loan, your credit rating is crap, you're not going to get anything. So we sit in that victim mentality and we start to shrink. But you're the conduit of change. You're telling you can take your money power story back.
When it comes to finances, especially when someone's got the bruised credit, when they haven't been saving since they were 18 months, the thing is, I say, let's think outside the box. Because the institutions, the traditional banks, those primes, they say, no, you have to fit the square. And I'm like, what if I'm a diamond? What if I'm not? What if I'm a diamond?
Yes.
You know what? A diamond, if you're strategic, can actually fit through a square. And that is where I, as a mortgage matchmaker, say, no, let's look at every possible avenue. And I think that comes from my own experiences of I've had people in my life never give up on me. Even at my lowest points, they never gave up. They said, Merylee, it's okay. I'm going to stick by you even when you're stubborn, even when you're being a pain in the derriere. Excuse my French. I'm going to support you and I'm going to be there for you because it's going to be okay. And because someone gave me that compassion, that empathy, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you right now without that.
Yeah.
So I feel it is my duty,
We're talking about the fact that if you went from broke, going back, because I'm just thinking about myself, right? So when I left my partner, I didn't have any money, yet I came from a shitload. Money would just flow through my hands. Just gave money away. So that was my money story. So you as a mortgage matchmaker, you help people find the strength by connecting the dots where they don't see anything in the future. right now because you talked about feeling a diamond in a circle. And I'm like, damn, that's exactly what you do. And for you to be able to do that, there are other avenues. So I love the fact that you don't just look at the world through just this. So if you'd like to expand just a little bit on that before we
Yeah,
close this up, because it's so important. And it's not just, in the US, in Canada, in Greece, in Italy, in Spain. It is a global thing. These
it
institutions
is.
that put us in boxes, we get scared.
And I think you've actually hit on something is money is terrifying. Relationships are terrifying. Money is terrifying. There is a theme there. And I think the moment that we say, I'm not going to let this fear hold me back, I'm going to dive in, I'm going to ask. And I think people don't ask. They don't want to seek help because they're like too taboo. The bank said no, the institutions say no. My bank account says no. But why does it say no? And so I'm there to say, well, let's look. Let's look together. Let's work together. And let me be that support. Let me be the little angel on your shoulder and say, hey, guess what, Kat? You actually can save X amount within 6 months if you follow this plan. And you know what? I'm going to be your accountability partner. I'm going to check
Love
in with you
that.
and say, how are you doing today? Because sometimes those simple check-ins make the most difference. And as a mortgage matchmaker, that is what I do. I'm that person who says, let me get you that relationship that you didn't think you could establish.
Another tagline. It's another one you need to write down. But that's so true because you've given a really cool perspective on something that is taboo. And when people talk finances, they want to vomit because people are scared to pay
Yes.
bills. They feel like icky thing in my belly.
You know what? I'm going to share something personal with you.
Okay.
I hated talking finances. The irony in that, I'm a mortgage broker, I'm a mortgage matchmaker, and I hated it because I think there's such a stigma to finances. And having come from a life of privilege to having nothing to then building myself up, I didn't want to talk about that. Who wants to hear that? And it wasn't until I started to say, you know what? No, it's important. It's important to talk about this. I need to have the courage. I need to say it's okay. And then I was able to feel comfortable I was able
Yeah.
to feel comfortable talking about this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I strive to do with the people I talk to and say, it's okay. I'm not here to judge you. Who am I to judge? We've all gone through something. And I'm here to just support you and say, it's okay.
Merylee, thank you so much for doing what you do. I'm really sorry that you went through ish to get you to where you are. But on a selfish note, I'm actually really thankful because had you not gone through all that, you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be saying yes to yourself. You would not be diluting your voice to the powers that are the masses, which really aren't. I'm not going to go down that path because I can talk about that till the cows come home, and I'm not even political. So far from it. God, no. Marilee, thank you so much.
I
And don't forget,
appreciate you and your work. So thank
thank
you.
you. And don't forget, continue to say yes to yourself. Bye for now.